Hello there friends, it's Evelyn here as always and welcome back to the channel. A huge thank you to all of you for continuing to support me and show the love on this little creativity journey of mine. Now I know that this world can be a really tough place to live in, especially over the last few years. So this week I wanted to share a really quick and easy beginner-friendly project with you that will make you feel fabulous in as little as half an hour. And another great thing, this does not take that much fabric, so it's a great remnant buster. So be sure to grab that bag of fabric scraps I know you have hidden in your fabric stash, and we can make use of some of them. Please, if you haven't done so already, hit that all-important subscribe button and come over and connect with me on Instagram. My user is @EvelynAdore. I'd love to chat all things sewing and creativity with all of you. But come on, let's get to some creating as we create really quick and easy turbans 2 different ways. Let's go. The first style of turban we're going to create today is going to be a twisted style, and for that we're going to need 2 panels of fabric. Make sure you're using stretch fabric and that the direction of the greatest stretch on the fabric is going horizontally across your pieces. For this first turban, your pieces are going to be the same size, measuring 13 inches in width, and the length of the piece where your stretch is going to be going is going to be your head circumference plus 1.5 inches. We're going to begin by folding each of the pieces right sides together along the width like so, pinning all the way along this bottom line like I've done with this second piece here, before stitching all the way along like so, using a zigzag or stretch stitch on your machine, effectively creating a tube. And then we're going to turn this tube out the right way before the next step. And believe you me, these turbans are so incredibly easy to make, but they look great. Let's get sewing. So here I have the 2 pieces for my twisted turban, and I've turned them out the right way, and I've positioned the seam in the centre of both of the pieces like so. Then going to fold them in half, just like this, keeping that seam in the centre. Now grab a hand sewing needle and some thread, and what I am going to do is run some running stitches through this fold and through the second fold too, before pulling on the thread to gather the 2 pieces together. And when you get to the top of the second piece, pull on your thread to gather the 2 pieces together like so. Do a couple of short back stitches just to keep those gathers in place. Hello Luna! Before cutting your thread. The piece now looks something like this. Okay, It looks a little bit like a fancy bow, doesn't it? So the side with the seams is going to be your wrong side, and the side without the seams, you guessed it, is your right side. So having gathered our two pieces together, it's looking like a kind of bow. Now we're going to create the twist effect by bringing our piece here across and to the bottom, and this piece here across and to the top. And you can see we're creating that twisted effect in the centre. Bring the top two pieces together and the bottom two pieces together, turning the entire piece like so. And now you can see the twisted effect here. Now we're going to take the top two pieces and place them on top of the bottom two pieces, right sides together, like so. I'm then going to take a pin, pinning the two pieces at that top corner edge, like so. And you can see the top two corner edges there pinned in place. So having pinned our top two edges here, open out your turban and bring the right sides together in this direction, like so. Once again, right sides together, pinning the top corner, like so, bringing those two pieces together once more. Now, everywhere that we've placed a pin, we are going to go over to the machine and sew the two pieces together at this pin, and this one here, all the way along, joining the two pieces together, each place you've placed a pin. So now that we've sewn those three seams, we're now going to sew the back of our turban. So this long raw edge here, we are going to fold it in half, right sides together, and we're going to sew all the way along that edge, all the way along that raw edge, right sides together, effectively stitching up the back seam of our turban. Okay, so now that we've sewn the back seam of our turban, that's actually the only machine stitching we're going to be doing. So let's turn our turban in the right way. Like so, and as you can see, it's really beginning to take shape. How great does that look? So the last thing we're going to do is we're going to do a gathering stitch at the back. So along the back seam, where the two pieces have joined, what we're going to do is create a gathering stitch using a hand needle and thread. Simply going to stitch a couple of inches from the base of the back seam in the hem, and we're going to do a simple running stitch all the way to the top. And then if we pull on this stitch, we can use it to gather. Use a couple of simple back stitches to secure the gathering. Again, placing your stitches in that hemline so they are invisible before cutting your thread, and your black turban. Twisted turban is complete. The next style of turban we're going to make today is a knotted front style, and for that I'm using this lightweight pink scuba. It's the same scuba that I used last week to create the belt for my first kaftan. The measurements for this particular turban are a width of 26 inches and a length of your head circumference plus 8 inches. And the first thing we're going to do is once again fold our scuba, or whatever fabric you are using today, on itself, right sides together, and once again sew all along the edge, effectively creating a tube that we will then turn out the right way. Okay, so having sewn our tube of fabric, I have turned it right side out and I have placed my seam in the centre like so. Then going to place pins at the ends on either side just to keep the two layers of fabric together like so. I'm going to do that on both sides. Just like so. Now, this is going to be the wrong side of our fabric, and the side without the seam is the right side. Taking our piece of fabric with the right side facing us, tie a simple knot. Position the knot in the centre of the fabric like so, pulling tightly. Finding the right side of our fabric. At the moment our turban technically looks like a pretty bow. Taking the right sides of the fabric, take the top two corners and pin them together. Where you have pinned those two pieces together, take your turban over to the machine and stitch as far up to the knot as possible. So, having sewn that centre seam of our knotted turban, We are then going to take those last 2 pins that we've got from the edges, and we're going to flip our turban over. We're going to join those 2 pins together, right sides together. And this is effectively our back seam. Like the first turban, we're going to pin all the way along here, right sides together, before sewing it on the machine. So having sewn the final back seam of our knotted turban on the machine, we're going to turn it right sides out like we did with our first turban, and once again run a running stitch along the back seam before pulling on the thread to gather the back. There's also one more thing I'm going to do to finish this knotted turban, and that is to hand stitch the back piece to the knot, just so there's no gap remaining there. And I'm going to do so using an invisible stitch. And then our second turban is finished. So there you are, you can now create turbans in 2 different styles, and a little birdie tells me that this is not going to be our last foray into hat wearing creations. You'll have to wait until next year though to find out what we're going to be doing next summer. So stay tuned to the channel, my friends. But until next week, make sure to hit that subscribe button, come over and follow me on Instagram, and let's chat. Take care, friends. Stay safe. Bye. I am definitely feeling these toes. Oh yes. Hello, you. Hello. Hiya. Hello. What's that? Hello. Is it people in?